Good evening and welcome to the May 5th, 2025 Cinco de Mayo edition of the regular Mayor and Council meeting. First item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to invite Dorothy Winder from our Parks and Rec Department to come up and lead us in the pledge. If everyone could please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dorothy. And next item on our agenda is reflection. I'd like to call for a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Next, we have approval of minutes tonight. The council has before them two sets of minutes, the first being from the work session, the budget work session on April 14th. What is the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the minutes of the budget work session from April 14th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, that carries 5-0. Next, we have the minutes from the regular meeting on Monday, April 21st. What is the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of minutes to the regular session held April 21st, 2025.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
And Mr. Mayor, I abstain.
And one abstention, so that carries 4-0 with one abstention. Councilmember McNulty. Next, we have our consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move forward the approval of the items on the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0. Thank you very much. And next, we're going to go into presentations. And our first presentation is our swearing in of our junior mayor. So I'm going to invite our junior mayor to join me at the podium. Thank you. Right. You stay right with me. Oath of office. Okay, this is what I was looking for. All right, we have this very, very cool podium that goes up and down, and we have very infrequently used it, so I'm really happy that we have a chance to do it. So tonight, as many of you know, we have this program that we're really, really proud of in the city of Gaithersburg. It's called our Junior Mayor Program. It starts off with an essay contest for all the fourth graders that serve city residents. And who knows how many hundreds are submitted. And then they're sort of reduced down to a group of maybe 10 or 12 finalists. And then the finalists are interviewed by our staff and our educational enrichment committee. And they make a choice who's going to serve as our junior mayor for the next year. Well, Naman Ketalaya, and you go to Diamond, right?
Yeah.
Diamond Elementary School is our nominee, and he's not our junior mayor yet until he takes this oath of office. So what I want you to do is look at me and hold up your right hand, and then I want you to repeat after me. I, Naman Ketalaya, do promise to faithfully carry out the office of junior mayor of the greatest city in America, Gaithersburg, Maryland. And I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and embody the city's core values. Accountability, caring, excellence, integrity, and teamwork. I promise to help educate those in my community about municipal government and work alongside our elected officials, teachers, my classmates,
my classmates,
and the community
and the community
to help make our city
to help make our city
a better place to live, work, learn, and play. A better place
a better place
to live,
to live,
work,
work,
learn,
learn,
and play.
and play.
Congratulations. Okay, now before Naman changes his mind, we have to have him sign this. I want you to sign that, sign your name right here, and then I'll sign mine.
Should I do cursive?
Yeah, whatever you want. Cursive or print, whatever you feel more comfortable with.
My last name too.
Yeah, your last name too.
Some do.
That makes it official. Okay, so we got that, and then I'm gonna make it official too. Okay, so I want to give Naman a chance to say a few remarks here. And so let me point that right to you, and you go right ahead.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you to Mayor Ashman and the City Council members for this honor. My name is Naman Kadaya, and I attend Diamond Elementary School. In addition to my passion for reading and art, I love helping my community. I believe in leading with kindness and love to help my family, neighbors, and friends. My main focus would be to end bullying because I've seen kids getting teased and being called names. It is very important to me to build an environment that is inclusive and welcoming to everyone. If I were junior mayor, I would create a program that pairs kids who have never been friends before with each other. If we take the time to get to know someone new, we can learn from each other and all feel like we belong. I also want to stop pollution by starting community gardens and recycling programs in every neighborhood to keep the environment safe for future generations. I would make school playgrounds greener and ensure every neighborhood has clean streets and parks. Since I was a kid, I have always been passionate about the environment and believe we should be good citizens to our fellow creatures on Earth. Gaithersburg is a great city where people treat each other with fairness and care. We help our city to become a better place. Being a junior mayor is lots of work, but I am up for the challenge since I know how to multitask, carry on lots of responsibilities at the same time. I am also not afraid to talk to people, hear their ideas, and come up with compromises to motivate them to get things done that will benefit us all. Thank you, guys.
That was amazing. Just so you know, it is an election year in the city of Gaithersburg, and I'm glad he's not quite old enough yet, because I'd be in trouble. I want to invite his family to come up. We have a certificate of recognition. I'd like the family to come up for a picture. And Naman, why don't you come right here? We're going to be right in the middle, so the council could be in this. You come on this side. You hold one, you hold that end.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome, thank you.
All right. Congratulations. Oh, wait.
Congratulations, great job.
You're my favorite mayor.
I'm going to invite Councilmember Wu. Our next agenda item is a proclamation for Asian American, Native, Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and I'm going to invite Councilmember Wu to join me here on this. That's your part.
Thanks, Mayor. City of Gaithersburg recognizes Asian Americans and Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders throughout the month of May for their histories, their cultures, and their many contributions to America and the world. The term Asian and Pacific Islander originated by the U.S. Census Bureau in the 1980s to refer to people with Asian ancestry. Since 1990, the U.S. government has designated the month of May as Asian American and Pacific Islanders Heritage Month, celebrating the achievements and contributions of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in the United States. In 2000, APIs were divided into Asian Americans and Native Hawaiians and other Pacific Islanders, NHOPI. Asian American is a term used by the federal government to refer to those who are descended from any of the indigenous people of the Far East, Southeast Asia, or the Indian subcontinent. The term Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islander refers to anyone with ancestry in any of the indigenous populations of Hawaii, Guam, Samoa, or other Pacific islands. The city is celebrating Asian Pacific Heritage Month with events like crafts and cooking classes at Casey Community Center, hula dance lessons, and family activities at the Community Museum. Please visit the City of Gaithersburg website for more information on observances around the city, including an educational exhibit running from May 1st through 30th at the Activity Center at Borough Park, 506 South Frederick Avenue. Now, the city is pleased to announce Dr. Shonali Nazare, a distinguished fire protection.
And by the way, can we have Dr. Nazare and Dorothy come on up here? And anybody from our Multicultural Affairs Committee who might want to join, come on up. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate that. Now, where were we? A distinguished fire protection engineer as the recipient for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Can you come over this way more? Thank you. Originally from India, Dr. Nazare brings both professional and excellence and cultural richness to our city. She holds a PhD in fire sciences from the University of Bolton in the UK, along with degrees in textile engineering from Amravati University and MS University, Baroda in India. A renowned expert in fire safety, she has conducted pioneering research on fire-resistant materials used in firefighter gear, aerospace composites, and military uniforms. I appreciate that. Recently, her work on wildfires earned her the prestigious Department of Commerce Gold Medal Award for addressing fire risks in the wildland-urban interface.
It's amazing.
Dr. Nazare currently serves with the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, where she is committed to preventing unintended fires and reducing fire-related injuries and property damage. Beyond her professional achievements, Dr. Nazare is a vibrant part of the Gaithersburg community. She has generously volunteered at the Gaithersburg Book Festival. What's that? Was the keynote speaker and a presenter in the annual Women in STEM COVID Chalk Art event. A self-taught cook who once competed on MasterChef. Wow. In the UK, she now enjoys sharing her love for healthy home-cooked meals rooted in Indian tradition with Casey's Let's Cook at Casey program. Living in Germantown with her husband and 3 sons, she stays closely connected to her heritage through language, festivals, and yoga. Dr. Shonali Nazare exemplifies the spirit of AAPI Heritage Month through her contributions to science, community, and culture.
All right. It feels like there should be several proclamations coming to you, but well, tonight you're going to have to settle for just this one. Proclamation of the Mayor and City Council of Gaithersburg, whereas Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month celebrates the achievements of this diverse group that makes up 7% of the U.S. population and 19% of the city of Gaithersburg's population. And whereas Montgomery County is home to a thriving Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander heritage community whose valued presence has added to the rich cultural mosaic of our community. And whereas Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander heritage reflects a culture with a strong commitment to family, economics, and educational achievements, and have distinguished themselves as leaders such as former Vice President Kamala Harris of South Asian descent, former Ambassador Catherine Tai, the first Asian American United States Trade Representative, Dr. Arati Prabhakar, lead the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, and Julie Su, Secretary of Labor, and we don't have it listed, but Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller here in Maryland. Whereas it is culturally and geographically rich and diverse, encompassing 47 countries and territories, including China, Korea, Japan, Indonesia, Russia, Vietnam, Thailand, Afghanistan, India, Nepal, and Armenia. Now, therefore, I, Judd Ashman, by the power vested in me as Mayor of Gaithersburg, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2025 as Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month in the city of Gaithersburg. Proclaim this 5th day of May 2025, signed by me. Let's give Dr. Nazario a great big round of applause.
Sorry. Thank you.
Did you want to say a few words, or not to put you on the spot, but you're welcome to?
I'm incredibly honored to receive this proclamation, and I'm a very proud resident of City of Gaithersburg. I came to this country 15 years ago, and we came to the City of Gaithersburg because back then I used to work for the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It took me a while to find home here because I have lived in England for 11 years, but my boys thought that this was their new home next day. They went to school and they just were so much at home, and I was like, oh, I think I have made the right decision coming to this place. And of course, today I'm really, really happy. I'm a proud mother of 3 boys who are in school right now. But as the proclamation says, the city of Gaithersburg is truly a mosaic of all different cultures and people from all different cultures and traditions come and live here very happily together. Very proud to be a resident of city of Gaithersburg.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lisa, I'm going to have you join me for this one. And I'm going to invite Charlene Simpson from our staff and Marissa Young, member of our Benjamin Gaither Center, because we are about to proclaim May as Older Americans Month in the city of Gaithersburg. And I'm inviting Councilmember Lisa Henderson. This is not a comment on her age. She just happens to be the liaison to our senior advisory committee, so she gets this honor.
Good evening. Every May, the Administration of Community Living leads our nation's observance of Older Americans Month, a time to recognize older Americans' contributions, highlights aging trends, and reaffirm our commitment to serving older adults. The 2025 theme, Flip the Script on Aging, focuses on transforming how society perceives, talks about, and approaches aging. It encourages individuals and communities to challenge stereotypes and dispel misconceptions. The recipient of tonight's proclamation is Marissa Young. Marissa is a longtime member of the Benjamin Gaither Center. Yay. Since joining the center, Marissa has not only participated in, but also organized many collection drives. Marissa has organized collections for food, snack backpacks, books, school supplies, supplies for seniors, and more. Marissa is an avid reader and lover of books. She has organized mystery author panels and writing workshops, and she leads the monthly book club at the BGC, the Benjamin Gaither Center. The generosity Marissa has shown with both her time and resources has both positively impacted the Benjamin Gaither Center and contributes to making the center, the city of Gaithersburg, a great place to live. and to read. And Marissa doesn't know, but in the Senior Advisory Committee today, we were talking about you and just your contribution of books and how the little library that the Benjamin Gaither has, that you could fill it on your own with your books. Congratulations.
All right. So I'll read the proclamation of the Mayor and City Council of Gaithersburg. Whereas the City of Gaithersburg includes a thriving community of more than 12,000 residents over the age of 55. And whereas the active older adults who live, work, and participate in Gaithersburg programs deserve recognition for their positive impact on the culture, economy, and character of our community. And whereas older adults in our community have made and will continue to make countless contributions and sacrifices to ensure a better life for future generations. And whereas the City of Gaithersburg is committed to helping all individuals live longer and healthier lives by promoting activity, wellness, socialization, and education. Now, therefore, I, Judd Ashman, by the power vested in me as Mayor of Gaithersburg, do hereby proclaim May 2025 is Older Americans Month in the City of Gaithersburg, supporting this year's theme, Flip the Script on Aging, which focuses on transforming how society perceives, talks about, and approaches aging. Proclaim this 5th day of May 2025, signed by me, and let's give Marissa Young a great big round of applause. If you'd like to say a few words, you're welcome to.
Okay. I just wanted to say I appreciate the mayor and the city council and, of course, Charlene and the Benjamin Gaither Center for recognizing me and also allowing me the opportunity to fulfill some of my habits of community service projects and spreading my love of books. And I thank you very much.
All right. All right. What did I do? Did I give you my pen?
I don't think so. I'll take that one just in case.
Okay. Next item on our agenda is public comments. This is the time the mayor and council would like to hear from anybody in the public who'd like to speak on, we don't have a public hearing topic, so any city matter. We ask that you state your name and address or neighborhood for the record. Keep your comments no more than 3 minutes. Do we have anybody in the room who'd like to testify this evening? And I'm not seeing anybody. So let me check on Zoom. If there's anybody on Zoom who'd like to testify, use the Zoom raise hand function and I'll call on you. Okay, I'm seeing one. Tech team, if you could bring up David Mullins, that would be great. And David, you know the rules. Unmute yourself, state your name and address or neighborhood. Go right ahead.
Yes, hey, good evening. David Mullins, Gateway Apartments here in Gaithersburg. Thanks for hearing my comment as usual. One quick thing is I read somewhere, I think, about the city of Boulder, Colorado, and it was our sister NIST city, I realized, had kind of like a civic engagement initiative. And I feel like I've heard a lot of the council, say we wish there was more participation, more public comment. And I feel like and other advocates have kind of tried to bring, say, hey, there's folks out here who aren't making it to the meetings, et cetera. Apparently in Boulder, there's some kind of like lottery that goes on for civic assemblies. So it's almost like jury service. Like I think the way you're called for jury service, you're essentially called for civic meetings. And like I don't think there's a penalty or anything if you don't make it, but it just seemed like a really interesting initiative. And I love, I think jury service is like voting on steroids. I think that is, great participation. And I think it gets sometimes kind of a bad rap, but people really do. It's usually a very positive experience for people. Perhaps that's something that could be floated, would get people more involved, because council in the communities is great. I think you'd get engagement there that you don't otherwise. But I still think there's just an invitation would have a whole different vibe to it. Anyways, have a good night. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Appreciate you bringing that to our attention. I happen to agree. I've never been selected for jury duty, but I've always wanted to. So, of course, when it happens, it'll be the least convenient time in my life. But I really do want to do that at some point. Do we have anybody else on Zoom who'd like to testify? Just use the raise hand function. I'll call on you. Going once, going twice. Okay. Then we will close that public comments. Let me just get back to my agenda here. Okay, next is from the mayor and city council, and we're going to start with Councilmember Lisa Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to say congratulations to staff. The city of Gaithersburg, just a proud moment. The mayor and Councilmember McNulty and I got a chance Thursday to visit, to cut the ribbon on a new apartment, Gardens of Gaithersburg, right off of 355 in the heart of the city. And it's 100% affordable homes. 78 units, anyone 60% of AMI or below can live there, and it's an incredible location, and it's just an incredible kudos to staff for the work that they've done there, for all the partners, for MHP, for everyone, for Bank of America, for all the lenders and funding that went on there. It's an incredible achievement that we have that affordable housing right in the heart of the city. So, and to our silent warrior, Tom Lonergan Seeger, who was mentioned many times during the ribbon cutting. So congratulations to all for that work. And I have an announcement to read. Gaithersburg residents will cast their ballots for mayor and 2 council members on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Candidate packets will be available starting Thursday, May 8th, 2025. Packets can be picked up at City Hall by appointment only or requested electronically by contacting City Clerk Leah Jones at cityelections@gaithersburgmd.gov. The candidate filing deadline is Thursday, August 21st, 2025 at 5 p.m. Mandatory candidate training sessions will be held in person on Thursday, May 29th, and virtually on Tuesday, August 5th. Candidates must attend one of the 2 sessions. Registration is required. To register for a training session, contact the city clerk at 240-805-1084. For complete election information, please visit www.gaithersburgmd.gov/elections.
Thank you, Lisa. We will go to Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to echo the comments of my colleague, Councilmember Henderson. The Gardens of Gaithersburg, what a great project, 78 affordable homes. Congratulations, and a huge thank you to MHP. I mean, they invested over $35 million in this project. And if you think back to when we had our discussion about the housing element, to a person, this council and the mayor all communicated our desire to preserve affordable housing in the city so that, things did not deteriorate to the point that they would get purchased and then turned into non-affordable housing. We all recognize the need for affordable units. And when we think about, 60% of AMI, the current AMI in Montgomery County is $120,000. So if you think about that, you would normally have thought, $80,000, $75,000 is a good salary, but it's not enough to buy or to rent a 2-bedroom apartment currently without assistance in the area. It's really, it's amazing. So to be able to provide, beautiful, upgraded apartments, it's really quite a testament to this project. So really excited to be there. For that ribbon cutting. Before tonight's meeting, I attended MDOT's public information session at Flower Hill Elementary School about the Route 124 pedestrian improvement project. And this is a project that the state is going to be doing between 355 North Frederick Avenue and following 124 down Mid County Highway to Saybrook Oaks Boulevard and Woodfield Road. So they had basically large tables filled with maps showing how the project is going to, at least at the current stage, which is 30% of of design, and was encouraging input. Part of the project is going to be adding a shared use path between 355 to Mid-County and then down to Pier Point. I have pointed out both through city staff and to the project managers that I personally would like to see the shared use paths extended to the terminus at Saybrook Oaks. Currently, as we're getting a thunderstorm here, currently Mid-County Highway has no sidewalks and no shared use path the length of the corridor. It's on the Montgomery County Master Plan that eventually there should at least be a sidewalk. So I brought that up to the project managers. Delegate Wims was there, and we were in agreement. The Montgomery Village Foundation was raising some significant concerns about the elimination of the channelized right turn lanes and the concerns that they have about it increasing traffic and causing it to take longer to go through the corridor, particularly with the future redevelopment of Lake Forest. And of course, we also have the other application in front of us for the gateway at Lake Forest, and those 400 plus units that are being proposed. Currently, the intersection of 355 and 124 is not a part of the traffic impact study because it's part of a state project. However, if we look at what's being proposed, it's not going to actually improve the flow through that intersection. So I would like to ask staff and my colleagues, if you agree, that we need to look at that intersection as part of that project and make sure that, with everything that's going on, understanding that the delta is maybe not, significant in comparison to the total traffic, but we're at a point where that intersection is a challenge, particularly with everybody going back to work. And my concern is that any changes to the orientation of that intersection is going to make traffic even worse there, and could impact, this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So I just think it's important for us to look at that. Finally, I just want to have two quick notes. Was able to attend an Arbor Day celebration with Councilmember Henderson and the mayor at Summit Hall Elementary. That was a lot of fun. Haven't had the opportunity to do that before. And I want to say congratulations and thank you to Sergeant Rice. We attended his retirement celebration a couple weeks ago, and Sergeant Rice spent nearly 40 years between Gaithersburg City Police, the United States Marine Corps, and the University of Maryland Police. So 40 years of service, so well-deserved retirement. So thank you for everything that you have done. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Jim. We'll go to Jamil.
Support Jim in his request, and that's all I got.
Okay, we'll go to Neil.
So thank you. So a couple of meetings ago, I went on a little bit of a minor tirade about the cost of electricity around here being so much higher than it is across the river in Virginia.
Juicy.
Stated that our juice must be juicier than it is over there because theirs costs 14 cents a kilowatt hour and ours costs 20. Right around that time, the session of the Montgomery County, the state of Maryland legislature closed, and they passed some legislation to actually focus on the high cost of energy in this state. Delegate Spiegel, our former colleague on the council, shared some information with me that summarized what they were doing, and it's mostly focused on keeping the rate of increase going forward down to a much lower rate so that we don't further exacerbate the cost of electricity. And he also pointed me to Delegate Chardukian, Lord Chardukian of District 20 down county, who is one of the people leading the charge for the electricity legislation. And I had a chance to meet with her and exchange some follow-up messages with her. And I shared some information about how the system works in Virginia. And there was some speculation that was brought to me by another party that perhaps the state of Maryland had some requirements that the PEPCO provide some additional something that additional services beyond what Virginia does, and that's baked into the cost. So maybe the juice is actually juicier, but to be continued. But it's good to hear that our legislature is actually addressing this issue, and it's not just me making noise. I had very little influence or none on the legislation, but hopefully we'll figure out what exactly is going on and maybe do something about it. So thanks to the legislators who worked on this. I don't say that often, but good work. Thanks.
Thank you, Neil. We'll go to Rob.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I shall save my words for a different day.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I'll take a little extra time on GBF since it's the last meeting before our book festival. But before I get to that, I wanted to congratulate staff on the first ever Gaithersburg Film Festival over at the Arts Barn. Some of us were able to attend the opening night, and I stayed for they showed two films. One was a short, the other was a feature. I thought they were both really, really impressive, good films. I look forward to how this could grow because that was really high quality stuff that they were showing. And next year I hope to be able to participate more because I think it's really promising. And then I won't repeat what everyone said about Arbor Day and the MHP ribbon cutting, the Gardens at Gaithersburg, and Lester Rice's retirement. We definitely wish him well, but thank you all for bringing those up. So it is, we're at that time. It's hard to believe. It's the 16th time I've been at this moment where we're at the last meeting before the Gaithersburg Book Festival, Saturday, May 17th, a week from this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. over at Boer Park. Free parking. You park at the county fairgrounds and shuttle over. It's like a 2-minute shuttle. It's very, very easy. We had them running every 5 minutes, basically. We have more than 130 of the world's best authors, journalists, educators coming to speak about their latest work and sign books and meet fans, including Pulitzer Prize winning historian Rick Atkinson, who's talking about the second in his Revolutionary War trilogy. Should be awesome. Pulitzer Prize winning humor columnist Dave Barry, who needs no introduction, but he's amazing. Best-selling author Janine Cummins, who grew up in Gaithersburg, has a new novel. You might remember her from American Dirt. Her new novel coming out next week is called Speak to Me of Home. And actually, in the acknowledgments, she has a special shout-out to the city of Gaithersburg, which is really beautiful, actually. Thriller writer Jeffrey Deaver, some of you might remember The Bone Collector. It was adapted into a film with Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. Now he's got a show on CBS, a weekly show called Tracker, based on one of his characters. And he's going to be talking about the latest book in that series. Children's authors Aaron Entrada Kelly, who I spoke about a lot at State of the City, John Patrick Green, Rachel Renee Russell and her daughter Nikki Russell, who write the Dork Diaries series, which is a real popular middle grade teen series. They're amazing. Sarah Pekkanen, John Scalzi, one of Neil's favorites. We have sci-fi, we got historical fiction, we got romance, whatever you like to read. A lot of sports this year too. David Aldridge and Joe Posnanski, and there's a book about the Harlem Globetrotters. It's really just an amazing lineup of awesome conversations and programs at the festival. So I hope you can make it. Books will be available for sale on site, and there will be signings, and there will be free writing workshops for kids, for teens, for adults, for people who aspire to write. Lots of exhibits and children's activities and food and fun for everybody. Free to attend, free to park. Again, shuttle from the County Fairgrounds. Fun for all ages, and you can find all the details at GaithersburgBookFestival.org. And let's see. We will have a work session next week. We hope you join us Monday, May 12th. Right here or on Zoom, as usual, to receive a presentation on the Multi-Generational Center feasibility study. And then the next regular meeting of the Mayor and Council will be 2 days after the book festival. See, it's before the book festival and after. That's how I mark my time. May 19th, 7:30 p.m., and we hope to see you at all of these things. And next, I'm going to turn it over to From the City Manager, Tanisha.
Thank you, Mayor Ashman. This week is Public Service Recognition Week, and I think especially these days, it's more incumbent upon us than ever to make sure that we're taking time to recognize those who've dedicated their careers to public service. That also includes our elected officials. But tonight, I want to publicly say thank you. We do try our best to celebrate and show our gratitude for our amazing team of city staff who work every day to make this community a great place to live, the greatest city in the world. And we are so fortunate to have the team that we have in the city of Gaithersburg. So this week, we will be celebrating city staff all week. And for those who may be watching online or on TV, if you see a city worker, a state worker, a federal employee, nonprofit, those who serve our community, make sure you take a little extra time to say thank you for all that they do for this community. And I will start. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Next, we have Economic Development Update. Tom Lonergan-Seeger.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. As the impact of federal government downsizing on our local economy unfolds, we continue to collect data on the performance of the city's commercial real estate market. The first quarter of 25 does not reflect the changes likely to ripple through the community. Rather, the numbers indicate the progress made in a post-pandemic recovery. Via our subscription with CoStar, our economic development staff tracks the status of around 9.5 million square feet of office and flex inventory here in Gaithersburg and about 5 million square feet of retail. Office space performance in early 2025 actually improved over the previous year, with the vacancy rate dropping from 13.1 in the first quarter of 24 to 11.4%. As of now, the city has more than 1.3 million square feet of office space available. Countywide, that number is over 16 million square feet, equaling a vacancy rate above 20%, which is 7 points higher than the city's rate.
Is this all classes of, okay.
Of office.
Overall, okay.
Flex space, that's those 1- and 2-story buildings occupied by a variety of tenants, including biotechs and light industrial uses, saw its vacancy rate decrease to 31% from about 57% the year before. Leasing activity at Matten's facilities on Progress Way account for the successful change in occupancy. Moving on to retail, the city has about 5 million square feet of space in its inventory. That vacancy rate increased from about 1.9% to 3% between the first quarter of 24 and 25. Most of that increase is attributed to the closing of the Best Buy on Shady Grove Road. That was about 46,000 feet. In total, about 197,000 square feet of retail is available here in the city, with about 30,000 of that at Walnut Hill Shopping Center in various locations in a few spaces. Low retail vacancy wasn't unique to our area. It was a nationwide trend driven by a shortage of retail space. In March, the most recent month for which we have data, the city's unemployment rate stood at 2.9%, which equates to about 1,177 unemployed individuals. As a side note, about 3,800 city residents were federal civilian employees last year. And it'll be some time before we see the trickle-down effect from the reduction in force notices that have gone out. We will continue to monitor the commercial real estate market and labor force. The unpredictable nature of this federal government restructuring and tariffs will affect demand for existing buildings, the cost of construction, and the financing available. Absent any change in the current trajectory, consider our first quarter 25 numbers to be a benchmark, a point at which we can compare future performance with that of the previous norm. That's all I got.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to ordinances, resolutions, and regulations. And Janice, you are up, our Director of Finance Administration, and this is an important night because we're going to be voting on our budget.
Yes. So good evening, Mayor and Council. This is an ordinance to adopt the city budget for fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, and levy an ad valorem tax on all assessable property within the city of Gaithersburg. This ordinance establishes the city budget, which provides a complete financial plan, including anticipated revenues and proposed expenditures and transfers for the fiscal year 2025 through 26. The ordinance also institutes the ad valorem tax on all assessable property within the city of Gaithersburg, Maryland. The ad valorem tax has been set at a rate of 26.2 cents on each $100 of assessed value of real property and 53 cents on each $100 of assessed value of personal property. This rate remains the same as the prior year. A public hearing was advertised in the Washington Post on March 20th, 2025, and was held on April 7th, 2025. During the public hearing, the Mayor and City Council voted to close the record on April 23rd, 2025. There were some changes made to the proposed budget since the Mayor and City Council work session on April 14th, 2025. There were two changes to the general fund revenue. Police photo radar fine revenue was reduced by $100,000 based on the current revenue trends that we're experiencing in FY25. And the transfer to the general fund from the stormwater fund to cover administrative costs was reduced by $23,000 due to updated personnel cost. The majority of the changes in the general fund expenditures include decreases in personnel costs from staffing changes from when the proposed budget was prepared through the end of March, as well as an update to the health insurance rate. Some of the other changes include $36,000 for additional expenses related to the Maryland State Art Council grant. The grant funds will not be able to be spent in FY25, so they will carry over to FY26. $100,000 was added for a potential joint project with the state and the county, which will utilize the opportunity grant funds that have been assigned for economic development. An additional $20,000 was added for an increase in the leasing cost for police undercover vehicles as the rate increased during the contract renewal process. And there were several other smaller increases and decreases that were captured. In summary, the general fund revenue decreased $307,362, which included a reduction in the reappropriation of $184,632, and operating expenses decreased $307,362. In addition to the general fund changes, there were also changes to the CIP, stormwater, and asset replacement funds. The CIP changes included additional external revenue of $500,000 from the state of Maryland for the 8 and 12 South Summit Avenue project. The majority of the remaining changes result from a shift in timing of expenses between fiscal years, so some moving from FY25 to 26 and 26 to 25, and some moving out to FY27. So a detailed list of these changes is included in the attachment titled FY26 Budget Subsequent Changes on packet pages 76 through 82. I would like to take a moment to thank Terry Reese and Kyle Jeffson, who's here with us tonight, and for all of their hard work on the budget this past year, and also all of the city staff that are involved in the budget process throughout the year. Their hard work and support are very much appreciated. And I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have on the ordinance or subsequent changes at this time.
Thank you, Janice. Any questions or comments? If not, then I'll make some on behalf of the council and say we join you in your thanks to your staff and to all city staff that were involved. I think this was a really this budget document's really good. I like the presentation with the budget book online. I liked everything about this budget. I think it reflects accurately the priorities and values of the city and of this council. And you guys did a great job. And I'm looking forward to hopefully a 5-0 vote in favor. Anybody want to add to that, or would someone like to move the ordinance?
I'd like to move the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed, say nay. Okay, that was 5-0. I got what I wanted. No, you guys earned that. Can we give all of our staff a big round of applause? Thank you so much. Okay, now I guess we're doing fees.
Yes. So the next item is a resolution to codify and update the schedule of fees for fiscal year 2026. The FY26 schedule of fees and list of fee schedule changes were published with the proposed budget. There was only one minor change since the proposed fee schedule, and that was to clarify that the electrician license for limited licenses and master licenses would be changing from annual to biannual. Previously, the change said biannually, so we wanted to make sure it was clear that the fee would not be charged twice a year, but only every other year. No other subsequent changes have occurred since the fee schedule was provided during the proposed budget. Changes from the FY25 fees are presented in the attachment. FY26 fee scheduled, FY26 fee schedule of changes beginning on packet page 123. These changes reflect the adjustments to the following fees: planning and code administration, licensing, permits, and plans, Parks, Recreation, and Culture included rental fees, admission fees, and program, class, and lesson fees, and an update to the Public Works recycling fee. By adoption of this resolution, all fees, charges, fines, and forfeitures of the city will be established for FY26.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments, or would someone like to move the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0. Thank you very much. You're not
Thank
going to
you.
see big rounds of applause over fees, but we appreciate all your work nonetheless.
Thank you very much.
The next item on our agenda was going to be the pedestrian bridge at Great Seneca Highway, but we're going to postpone that one, and we will return to that at some later date, and we'll see how that goes. Next, we have policy discussion, and Eric Perla, our Assistant City Attorney, and Tom Lonergan-Seeger, our Assistant City Manager, are here to speak about our regulations for our parking permit program.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. We are here tonight, as the mayor stated, for the policy discussion on the permit parking program regulations. The regulations were introduced on March 3rd, and a public hearing was held on April 7th. The record officially closed on April 17th. As you can see, there were a few less restrictive modifications made to the draft regulations in light of the council's discussion during the public hearing. There was also one other modification that was made by staff that I will explain shortly. The first one was to Section 2D of the regulations. It's packet page 169. Which lays out the definition of common ownership communities. That was modified so as to delete homeowners associations from the definition. This will ensure that the city's communities that are governed by the HOA declarations are not excluded or otherwise exempted from these regulations. The second change, which is the one that was discussed by staff, was to Section 2K of the regulations, packet page 170. The definition to short-term daytime visitors was modified so as to delete the term daytime from the definition. This was done to avoid any potential confusion that might arise and to thoroughly establish the intent of the term, which is to include a person visiting a residence irrespective of the time or day that they are visiting. The term daytime, another change, was on packet page 176, which is the only time where short-term daytime visitor shows up in the regulations. Daytime was also deleted. That's under Section 3C5. Third, Section 3B3A of the regulations, packet page 174. That was the denial provision for residential permit parking regulations. That was amended so as to include an appeals provision. The newly added language allows the individual that's identified as a primary contact on a preliminary application to appeal the city manager or their designee's decision to deny a residential parking permit petition to the city's Board of Appeals pursuant to City Code 12-11.2 and 24-12.9. Similarly, Section 4A1DI, that's packet page 181, that's the denial provision for commercial parking programs. That was amended also to include an appeals provision. And that newly added language allows the authorized representative of any eligible commercial entity that's identified on the petition to appeal the city manager's decision that denies a commercial parking permit petition to the City Board of Appeals, again, pursuant to City Code 24-11.2 and 24-12.9. As noted on the cover sheet, the city staff is requesting that Mayor and City Council vote and approve the regulations with the effective date of July 1st, 2025.
Thank you very much, Eric. Questions, comments? Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'm so glad that we are finally at this point. Thank you for the changes. I think they make sense, and appreciate the conversation during the hearing. And I think we've landed in a really good place. Is it perfect? Probably not, but it is so much better than where we were, and it's something that our residents have been asking for years. So I am excited to be here, and will definitely be supporting passage.
Yeah, I mean, these are, as Jim said, it may not be perfect. First off, I agree with everything he just said. I'm proud of the work that you guys have done to get us here. It's literally years worth of work to get our brains and our arms around the challenge. And you guys have done a terrific job. And as Jim suggested, it may not be perfect right out of the box, but this is a living document. Even though we're treating this through this process, we decided to treat these regulations in a way that we would normally treat an ordinance. They're regulations, and we could change them pretty quickly if we see that there's a problem and there's a necessary change. So it is kind of a living document. And Rob, or Neil, you want to add something, Rob?
Sure. Just kudos. This is a long time coming. Some of us remember it to be a lot longer, but I guess there was a reboot of the process. And Eric, you've just been great in being responsive to this. I would have one ask is that when the Board of Appeals docket gets crowded, just call those Hernandez appeals.
That's funny.
Just write it into the process.
Neil, go ahead.
I'd like to move adoption of the regulations for the parking permit program.
Second.
Wow, race to the second. Okay. I'll leave that up to Leah, who got that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, carries 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. You know what? They deserve a round of applause.
Thank you.
Okay, from our city attorney, anything for us, Frank?
Well, I would just thank Eric again for making us look good, not only for the city, but for the city attorney's office as well. So we thank him for that. One little update, if you have heard that FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, has been eliminated. Well, that's not really true. What has been true, though, is that one of the key funding programs is being cut back. That's the BRIC funding program, which is essentially a pre-disaster mitigation program funded since 2018, changed somewhat, but any fully obligated funds will be carried out, others will not. Does it affect anything in Gaithersburg directly? No, but it does have an impact in Maryland. The state, through the Department of Emergency Management, had planned anti-flooding projects in Baltimore and the Eastern Shore. So there are grants in those areas that will probably not be able to proceed. What will be the impact, as you see? Well, they may cut it at the federal level, but if the need is still there, one may expect the state will be trying to find a way to identify funding for these projects to happen, and that we may see, as the needs remain, somebody still has to fill the gap. But that's my only update for tonight.
All right. Anything from any of their staff? And please make it more uplifting than that. Okay, not seeing anything. I will remind you that we will have a work session next week. We'll receive a presentation on the Multi-Generational Center feasibility study. Next regular session will be on Monday, May 19th. As you've heard, Saturday, May 17th is the book festival. I think the 15th is Bike to Work Day.
Yes.
You want to say something about that before we?
So we have 2 stations for Bike to Work Day, same as last year. In the morning, there's at the Kentlands Pavilion on Main Street, and in the afternoon, right here in Old Town. So come on out. There's all sorts of goodies, T-shirts if you've pre-registered, and all sorts of giveaways and coffee and music and good time. Bring your bicycle, please. That's part of the deal.
Yes, indeed. Okay, well, until next time, let's do great things, Gaithersburg. We are adjourned.
Recording stopped.